What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome back to another video guide. In today's video is going to be on Edward's Lost Chapter LUFENIA fight. So before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help this channel and I would really appreciate it. Now without further ado, let's start this video. Alright guys, as always, we'll start this off in how we are going to be dealing with the LUFENIA orb, which starts at the start of the battle and will disappear once you hit less than 80% and will reappear again once you hit less than 50%. So you will get 8 LUFENIA orb counters when the target is hit by ice elemental damage. So Celeste, Cater, Onion Knight, Kurosami are a few of the characters that I would recommend. Alright, moving on how this fight is going to work. Well, this is one of those fights which the boss will have a red aura. Basically, this particular fight, they will use the ++ variant of their abilities, which will basically KO the boss's target or targets. This happens at less than 80% HP and when they hit less than 50% HP. So the red aura will actually disappear when the boss hits less than 60% of their HP and when they hit less than 30% of their HP as well. Their all attacks will inflict some AoE HP damage, although not too scary unless they have the red aura. They are also immune to the Paralyze, Confuse, and HP Silence debuffs. Alright guys, so how are we going to be dealing with this fight? Well, honestly speaking, they aren't immune to delays, so that is how we are going to be dealing with this fight. Use your delay characters or free turn characters. This will save you from those red auras. Another way to do this is actually using your burst phase and summon phases during those red aura phases when you're just about to get hit. So that is to maximize the amount of damage you can do, and hopefully you can bring down about 20% of their HP. That is basically what it is. It's about 20% of their HP you have to basically delete in order for you to get past the red aura phase. So, characters to bring for this one, basically if you can bring delay characters like Cloud, Garland, Lightning with her free turns and re-breaks, and of course Terra is the most infamous one at the moment when it comes to a lot of free turns. These characters are definitely going to help you out. Onion Knight with his turn manipulation is going to be helpful here as well as him being able to deal with the LUFENIA orb. So it's kind of like 2 birds with 1 stone with him. Off turn damage is actually a pretty good a technique here as well, seeing as you do only have 50 turns to complete this fight. So having some off turn damage with Yang, with your traps and stuff like that are definitely going to help in this fight. Now as for call characters, they kind of sort of stays the same most of the time. Jack, Dissidia, and Cloud are pretty good picks here as well. Plaid and Cecil, if you don't have like a healer on your team, can do that, as well as Hope can do that or fill in that Cole character role as well. Cater is actually the only Cole character that will grant you some ice enchant, and honestly it doesn't really last that long, but if you are planning to use like Yang, and obviously with Yang's off turn damage, having Cater as his call with that ice element will make it so you don't have to worry too much about that LUFENIA orb as well, at least for a certain period of time. I do believe Cater's call lasts for about 2 turns. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but as far as I know, because obviously in this version of the game Cater doesn't have her LD just yet, so I do believe it lasts for 2 turns. Alright guys, now let's move on to party composition examples. The one that you guys are seeing, obviously I have Terra, Yang, and Onion Knight, which is kind of like a variant of the cheese, which we'll go over in this video as well. The call I have for this one is going to be Emmett the Lion, Jack, and Hope. Support is Golbez, and summon is going to be Shiva. Now another character that another team that you can try out is with Bartz, Terra, and Celeste. The cold team is going to be Jack, Emmett the Lion, and Cloud, and support here is going to be Garland for those delays. The summon is going to be Diabolus, so basically with this one there's a little bit of off-turn damage, there's some free turns, and some deletion of the enemy's turns, and so it's a mixed bag of all the tips that I basically mentioned earlier. And finally, the last team I would recommend to you guys is a chase team, which includes Cloud, Dark Knight, Cecil, and Keys for this one. The call team is going to include Onion Knight, Jack, and Ramza. The support, I would go with Onion Knight here just to be on the safe side when it comes to, the Lufenia orb counters, because you're relying a lot on the chase damage that you're going to be doing. So Onion Knight is a good failsafe, and because the summon that I would put here as well is Pandemonium, so you can do as much damage as you can during those chase sequence. However, you can still change Pandemonium here to Shiva if you do want to be a little bit safer when it comes to that Lufenia orb. Alright guys, now let's talk about the cheese in this fight, which is kind of identical. This cheese is, it's still a quote-unquote cheese, because it's not like you are relying on a mechanic from, you're abusing a mechanic that wasn't intended in this particular fight. But it is kind of like a cheese nonetheless, because it makes this fight so much easier. So first things first is you will need some turn manipulation. The best one I would highly recommend is Terra. Lightning is there, and Onion Knight to a lesser extent, way lesser extent. So Garland as well with the delay is actually good. Having two of the turn manipulation characters is definitely going to help. Now Yang isn't exactly needed once again, however it does make the cheese more fun, and it makes it look more cheesier, if that makes sense. If you are not planning to use Yang, just use Onion Knight for that ice enchant, so you don't have to worry about that Lufenia orb. If you are using Yang, again, put Cater on the call, and basically Yang will do his magic. The summon for this one, any summon can actually work, but I would highly recommend Shiva just to be on the safe side. Alright guys, that is basically the end of the video, but before we do go, of course I want to give you guys my final thoughts regarding this fight. In all honesty, this fight is a lot easier than the previous Lufenia that we had. The turn requirement is still pretty tight. However, if you are planning to beat this fight, it has to involve some sort of turn manipulation, and of course having a lot of free turns is definitely the key to this fight, because 50 turns is not a lot of turns. I'll tell you that much. At least in the current state of the game in global. Obviously later down the track you won't have to worry about that 50 turns, because you'll be doing a lot more with the characters that are coming out later in the global version cycle. I believe when I did this in JP, I was doing like a lot more damage than we are doing now. I'm pretty sure I had like Cloud of Darkness burst happening here and doing a lot of off-turn damage. So again, that is still key, off-turn damage, that definitely helps. So overall, if you don't have the right tools for this fight is going to be a nightmare for you. However, if you have the right tools for this fight, with the turn manipulation, delays and stuff like that, then this fight should be on the easier side. And again, if you do want to just cheese this fight, you do have to have the right characters in order to pull it off. And yeah, so because I kind of cheesed this fight, I would just give this fight in the easy department because I didn't really have too much issues. However, if you want to do this like a proper way, I highly recommend not doing this a proper way. You will need some sort of delay and of course some sort of extra turns, I guess, to call the I guess I can call it that, because yeah, that turn requirement is pretty tight, and plus you have to deal with that red aura, and that red aura is very dangerous. There's really no way for your characters to survive. It's a guaranteed KO hit with whoever they target, or if they can even do like an ult target with that red aura, and that is very, very dangerous. Anyway, I think I will leave the video right here, guys. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the channel, and I would really appreciate it if you share this video as well to a fellow player who's having trouble. Yeah, I would really appreciate that. You can always follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming. Leave down in the comments below what team you used for this one. Did you cheese this fight? Let me know down in the comments below. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.